My friend from the governor's office contacted me and told me about this. I didn't really know what it entitles of, but we work with CSN a lot. We work with UNLV, and we'd be happy to help. My wife's also a student in CSN and UNLV in interior design, so I know what it is to have clients come in and basically to build files for them and do projects and keep it in your folders for the future. So I'll try to be a good client. I'll cooperate as much as possible. We do have a lot of stuff that we have in file, so we've done our homework. We're pretty set on a lot of things. I believe there's always something that can be added, and nothing like young minds that can bring in some new items into the advertising and to the booking process, basically. So I have a big presentation. I'm not going to do it. I'm sure you guys have enough of those that you have to sit down and study about. I'll have everything available in emails. So whoever needs anything, I'm going to have a bunch of business cards and stuff like that. Feel free to contact me. Email is the best. And I can basically forward you presentations, videos, YouTube links, documents that we print out, everything. So basically, we'll start with who we are and how we started. 777 Movers, we're a family-owned and operated company. We're locally owned in Las Vegas. We're not one of those nationwide branches. So in our main headquarters, it's going to be me, my brother, my dad, my mother. That's the main office management team. Other than that, we started as a small company. We started five of us with my sister as well. Now she's a dental student in Arizona. So we basically grew up from being the 5 people in the office with 1 more worker, and developed to where I'd say we have roughly between 30 to 40 employees locally in Vegas currently. It varies between seasons. We run usually around 6 trucks locally. We started with 1 rental truck that me and my brother ran on, and now we have 6 trucks running locally, another between 5 to 10 nationwide. So we're down to the point where me and my brother don't have time to go out in the field anymore. We're running the office mainly. We developed to where we started from a tiny, basically kind of like a garage warehouse, and now we have a 10,000 square foot warehouse. We're basically, I'd say 5 minutes down the road on Cheyenne. We're on Cheyenne and Losee. So what we do, we move. We do local relocation, we do nationwide relocation, either residential, commercial, industrial, basically anything. We work with schools as well. We deliver desks. We do computer move. Anything basically that there is to move, we can take care of it. We do have license to operate both locally and nationwide. That's a very important detail in our industry. A lot of moving companies will get the DOT license, which is a nationwide, and will not be able to get the local. I'm sure you guys heard about Uber. And when they were trying to get into Vegas with all the taxi cabs and all that, and they got into the Nevada Transportation Authority, and they started arresting the drivers and giving violations and confiscating the cars. So those are the people that are in charge of the local transportation license in Nevada. They're very, very strict, let's call it, which is important in our city, especially for transportation. And we actually get along very well with them. We have a very good report, and we don't have a lot of complaints at all with them. They like us very much. We even help them to go against other companies that are operating illegally. So we are licensed to do both the local and the long distance. We have our insurance. The relocation standard for insurance is $750,000 coverage. Our coverages get all the way up to $5 million. We have basically insurance on everything. And we can offer full coverage, we can offer partial coverage, whatever the customer wants. I'll talk a little bit about marketing strategies that we developed in the past, let's say 3 to 4 years. So our main business comes from lead purchasing. You'll go into the internet as a client, you'll put in Moving Companies Las Vegas, and you'll find a lead website. You're not going to know it's a lead website. You're going to put in your name, your email, your phone number, where you're moving from and to, and you'll get contacted between 7 to 15 moving companies. We have a very big competition on that. So we're basically going to get in that lead, and we're going to start calling and calling and calling until we do get a hold of that client, and we're the lucky ones that basically convince him to move with us. That's the first strategy. It's the most difficult one. It's the cheapest and the easiest to get the leads, but it's very difficult to close those clients. Other strategies that we did, we have all the apartment complexes in Vegas, we knocked on their door several times. We got in, we talked to people. We know basically all the apartment managers. They all have our brochures. We have a referral process where basically each and every job that they refer to us, we will give them credit for. We developed that with actually a brand company in Las Vegas. I think they're called Brand. I'm not sure. But that's where we got some of our brochures from as well. Another strategy is handing out brochures and postcards and mailings and all kinds of stuff like that. We do have everything. I brought in some samples that I'll have available afterwards. And the last is advertising, Google, pay-per-clicks, YouTube, videos, social media. I'm sure you guys know all those fun stuff. We do have another 2 offices. I don't know if this has to do with anything. We opened up an office in Sacramento. It's a branch that we basically started running around a year and a half that we're opening up in Arizona and Phoenix. So we're going to be basically handling all the West Coast on very high volume and then all the way to the East Coast on a little bit lower, but we still do that as well. We'll move people all the way to New Hampshire or Florida or Washington State, and we'll move from there back to Vegas as well. So even if it's not something that we can handle, we'll have a different company that can handle. So we do all nationwide. We don't do national. We don't do out of the United States, the 48 states. We try to stay away from Hawaii and Alaska. But all the rest we will do within the 48. We're very competitive. So like you said, there is Atlas. There is Mayflower, Beacons, maybe another 2 or 3 national names. These are companies that have probably over 50,000 trucks each. They're more like McDonald's. They'll basically have the big national name, and then they're going to have a lot of branches that are not locally owned. They're locally owned, but they're kind of like sponsored under the national name. And then you have the tiny moving companies where they don't even own the trucks. They'll rent a truck or 2, and a lot of times they'll change their names every time that they have some bad management issues or they have some bad reviews. Or this is a very, very difficult industry because it's very easy to open up, not the local, but the long distance moving is very easy to open up under different names. And there are a lot of sketchy people in the industry. I'm sure you guys heard some moving stories. I'd say the number one difficulty for us is our online management of reviews. The main problem is when a customer is very happy, best case, he's going to call you into the office and say, hey, I wanted to let you know Seraphine and Greg were awesome. They did such a good job. You need to give them a raise. We'll tell them if you can go in, place a review. We'll send them the review sites. We'll even promise them a gift card to breakfast or dinner or whatever. Sometimes we'll ask them if we can even come and interview them. I'd say 1 out of 1,000 will really do that. But when somebody's mad, he's going to have to vent it out. And usually they do go in those place those reviews. So if we'll move an average of, I'd say between 200 to 300 moves a month, 1 out of those is going to be unhappy. You know, sometimes people are just impossible to get satisfied. So that one is going to go in and place that one review, and that's what's basically going to be showing up. So we've worked a lot on getting good reviews. We're getting a lot better on our online campaigns and social media. But same as any service industry, this is an industry where you have to keep the customers 100% satisfied. I think I covered everything on my side, I believe. Is this a good time for questions? Yeah? Yeah, feel free. Not all at once. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, I missed you. Sorry.
I actually have prior experience in movement. I started when I was, I think about 18 or 19.
Mm-hmm.
I worked like every summer. You said that your lead statistics are your cheapest, right? So I would assume that Google is more expensive, right?
Mm-hmm. In that regards, let's say I'm going to throw out numbers. They're not exact, but let's say a lead that I'll purchase from moving.com, which is one of the biggest lead generating websites, can be between $7 to $10 a lead. I do have another 7 companies at least that I'm competing against. So I'll have a 3% closing rate or a 4% closing rate if it's good. A lot of times it will be down to 2 or 1% closing rate. Google, I can pay up to $30 or $40 a lead because I'm paying, let's say, for instance, pay per click. And then each click is going to cost me $5, $10. And out of those clicks, I'm going to need 4 or 5 clicks for somebody to really go in and fill up a contact form or call into the office. So that's going to cost me $40 a lead. But he went into my website, not a lead generator. Worst case, I'm going to have 1 competitor. And this is somebody that already did his homework, went into 777 movers. I'll get a 60 to 70% closing rate on that one. I hope that answered the question.
Well, I'm kind of familiar with Google. I have a couple businesses myself, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of get it down to a nice price.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been working with them for the past 3-4 years. It's a whole different campaign by its own. Anybody else?
So one of the challenges he has is coming up with how do you generate a higher click-through? How much of an opportunity do you have to sell at that time?
And what we basically did in the past year to help both the marketing and convince is to do videos, which is, I'd say we have 6 or 7 videos of a lot of questions to certain customers where how they're satisfied and everything. And what I learned in the branding is it doesn't matter what you say about yourself, what your salesmen say and how good they are. It depends on what other people say about you. And that's what basically is going to convince the client. Yeah.
Could I ask you to give me a brief description on how you review?
How a customer will review or how I'll do a video interview?
As far as the customer goes.
Customer, there's several options. Either they'll just go into the internet, Yelp, Facebook, customer lobby, customer review, moving company reviews. There are probably over 30 review sites.
Right.
Another option is that this is something that we're building up right now through a third party is each and every foreman on spot. At the end of the move, he'll send a link to the customer's cell phone that the customer can just go in and it's going to direct them straight to that. So those are the 2 options that we have. Continuing, yeah, the main thing that we found in advertising is the videos that really, really help. And that's something that I actually have somebody working on that campaign right now to build up a nice video that combines all of the customers and that shows the movers and how they actually work and all that. So we did a basic one a year and a half ago, and it helped very much with only 1 happy customer and just a little bit of explanation about the company. So now we're developing something much bigger in that aspect.
Can you verbalize what you feel? Maybe you've done some research on this. Why someone chooses you? What are the top 3 reasons, or a single reason? If you have a USP, a unique selling point or position from someone else. What is the basis of their? What makes the deal for them?
It starts with reliability. We're locally, we have a very good track record in the past years. Our salesmen push that very strong and have customers actually come into the office. A lot of our competitors don't even have an office, or they'll have a tiny 1-suite office that they rent inside somewhere. So the main point that we sell is to come over to take a look at what we are and what we actually do compared to our competition. We have a lot of things like deposits. When somebody wants to move, especially nationwide, locally less, but when somebody wants to move nationwide, they're always required to pay a deposit. So we'll tell all the clients to not put a deposit on a credit card, to walk into the office with a check, cash, money order, and see who they're paying that deposit to. So that helps us a lot because we do seem a lot better and a lot more professional than a lot of the other companies. Another point is, like I said, the reviews. We do have bad reviews. We do have a lot of good reviews. Out of those good reviews, we have certain clients that do testimonials as well. So if somebody wants to make sure that it's genuine, he'll call somebody that moved with us and ask him some questions about the move. I'd say last is a good salesman, basically, to have somebody that really knows how to connect to the customer and talk to the customer and have the customer understand, hey, you're not dealing with a big national company where you're just a number. Over here with us, you're really a client. You're part of our business, and we're a family-owned business, and there is a much better connection in that case. Price also, of course. We try to beat any price that we can. We try to compare apples to apples. So if somebody will walk into this room and do an estimate for $2,000, but he's going to underquote by 50%, I'll walk in and I'll come up with $4,000. I'll try to show the customer how to compare those apples to apples. But we usually price per pound or price per hour. We're usually on the lower scale.
So you're competitive with the national brand names?
Very, very. Any national company will beat their price every time. No matter to where it's going, we're always going to be lower than them. The tiny local companies, especially the ones that just rent a truck or whatever, their overhead is very, very low. They don't have a huge warehouse that they pay for. They just rent public storages here and there where they drop the jobs, and they. So it's a little bit more difficult to compete with those, but we're pretty close to them. We're not too far away.
You have a lot of repeat customers.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even bring that up. Another very, very big business aspect that we learned is that a lot of the customers that are going to be happy are going to come back and refer. Right now, out of those leads and everything, the main place that we get most of our jobs are repeat and referrals. So I think we did a report a couple months ago. We have over 50% referrals. So over 50% of our customers are people that were referred by people that were happy. And another 25% of the customers are people that are moving again. And they call us a year later, 2 years later, and have us move them. Even if they move to New York and they call us to move them back. So around 70 to 75% of our customers are either return or referrals. So that's amazing on its own.
So the first part you were explaining is more of a public relations issue. That's what social media is.
Mm-hmm.
But the referral, any kind of a documentation or something that a current client can receive
Mm-hmm.
to help them explain to somebody else they're referring
Yeah.
would be helpful to you.
Yeah, we have, like I said, we do have brochures. We have that covered as well. And we even offer, I think it's $25, a gift card or something like that for whoever does refer, just to show our appreciation. So we do have everything in our literature and our brochures that we have options either for refers or referees in that case.
We have a client that's presenting to a class tonight. She has a business card. That's it. I offered that to my class last night, and they found that very popular because, wow, everything's open. A client like you that has already a lot of stuff established might be considered more of a challenge. What can we offer him? You know, he's got a lot of pieces. He's doing very well. And so that's the big question. What do you think you could get out of working with us? What are some areas you see you really have a need in?
I'd say the main thing that can help me, first of all, like I said, fresh young minds that can look at something and tell me, hey, you know, you can tell that a 50-year-old designed this. Look at this and show me something that looks better and that looks more catchy and that is more up to date. Or I'd say the videos is something that's really the strongest for us. We have like 9 videos that teach how to pack, just that we threw onto YouTube and we do pay-per-clicks on. Those are very basic. And we have another couple videos. The one is the basic review with that happy customer and the explanation about the company. I'd say a very, very good thing for us would be like a nice edited video, for instance. And again, I have everything in bulk on my computer, but I don't have it nice and organized. So that's something, I don't know if you guys do deal with. That's something I can help. Either video or whatever branding, to look at what we have and basically let us know, hey, you know, I do this. I turn this around. I put in this picture, for instance.
Well, that's what I'm looking for is a review of your messaging, your branding, what you're trying to, who is your audience? Are you targeting your audience properly? Are you using the right images? So the makeovers and the improvements on existing pieces in that. I have some clients come in, they want a finished website or a finished video. We're not a website development class, we're not a video class. I've had some team members who major in video or web development, and on their own, they would do that as their work, but it's not required in this course. We're
Right.
more in messaging, branding, putting together the pieces that the design of the pieces. When it comes to non-print, like video and web, there's a lot of development after you've designed it. So
Right.
You'll get back some designs, messaging, and branding in that for printed pieces and that, and some ideations for social media and video. Knowing what content to put in the video is as important as the polished video. And but there's a lot, whoever works with you, there is a lot of information to process, and that's a good thing because sometimes it's kind of hard to start from nothing.
I'll tell you honestly, I came not really knowing what I'm coming into. But I do have, like I said, the other two companies. It's not all 777 movers. We have 777 movers. We have Full House Movers in Sacramento. And then we're going to have Falcon Relocation in Arizona. Full House Movers is somewhere in the middle. Falcon is going to open in a couple weeks, which over there we're clean. We basically developed our logos, and that's almost it. So I'd be open to even try it out on a different company if that does help. Or we're pretty open to help basically with anything. I'm not here to try to get the branding built up. We already did that on 777 at least, and we know how to do it on the other ones. But I'm here to, first of all, hear other ideas, and second of all, to see what we can help you guys and see how we can develop it from there.
Well, I was thinking you're going into new markets, and that you just can't take all of your current needs and just change the name of the market.
Right. No, we're going to rebuild. Yeah.
So, moving into Phoenix or one of these other companies would be a pretty good option where
Yeah.
you'd have a little bit more leeway if the team decides they would like to develop in that area. So it sounds like you're presenting an opportunity even more than I expected. And
Oh yeah, we're
you're
open.
Right on that, guys.
We're open, and me, my brother, my dad are the owners of the three companies. We do have partners in the other two. In Vegas, we're the only ones. And I'm the one in charge of all the social media, the marketing, the campaigning, customer service, all those fun stuff. So anything for all three companies is going to be directed through me. And I'd be open to hear anything about either of them. I have the 777 movers, Full House Movers in Sacramento are both running. They're online. We're picking up jobs. Everything is public, so you can go in and you can take a look and see the logos and everything. Falcon is not even online yet. I do have logos, basic ideas, but not too much more than that yet. So I'd be happy to offer any of the three for whoever's interested.
Do you have a capability statement, mission statement, business plan you could share?
You mean like a branding, like 777 movers because it's your lucky day or something like that?
Yeah, what is your current messaging and your business plan or any kind of documentation? Like, do you have a statement that describes your company? Boilerplate copy that you use in your presentation materials?
We do. I have kind of like a form in here. It's very basic. I'd say for the other two companies, not something specific yet. But for Vegas, we have like a capability statement that we built that it has all the information in there and everything, but nothing that directed, like you're asking.
What is the basic scope of those three different companies?
What do you mean? Like what?
Well, you've got three different companies, three different names.
Right.
You're taking three different approaches.
Oh, yeah.
Different markets. What are the scope of the different companies?
California market is a little bit different. Over there, the Full House Movers, it's more of a residential relocation, not too much of big referring apartment complexes and stuff like that, like we have in Vegas. Over there, it's a more of a fight for job to job. We do a lot of moves inside the Bay, not only in Sacramento. So we'll go into San Francisco, San Jose, all that. So over there, it's more of a vast project. It's a lot more of lead purchasing and finding those customers. In Vegas, it's more of getting what we already have and repeating that. So California is different in that way. In Arizona, we didn't even start it. We operated over there a couple years ago. We know that the market over there is very good. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. The partner that we had wasn't that good. So now I have somebody in Vegas that's been working with us for 4 or 5 years, and we're sending him to manage that. So we know that the market in Arizona is very good. We know that it's a lot more of corporate as well. So not only like the regular house move, more of corporate move and high-end moves. I don't know if that answered your question, but each market is a little bit different.
Do you, in Sacramento, you're operating just on that one company, 777's not there already?
No, we're not. We didn't combine. That's just from liability purposes and from, corporate reasons. We have a different corporate for each one. So 777 Movers is the Las Vegas, the Full House Movers is Sacramento, and the Phoenix is going to be the Falcon. So each entity is not connected in any way but the owners, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
Have you looked up Texas for instance as a place you'd be interested in going because it's the #1 economy in the United States?
It's a good question. Texas is amazing right now. We have a lot of people moving to Texas, which is very good for us. For Texas, it's less of an interest because most of the people are moving in. So having a moving company in Texas is not that good because not too many are moving out. We do partner with companies in Texas. So for instance, if I'll load a job from here to Texas, I'm not going to come back empty. But for moving, we came to Vegas in 2007 thinking that it's the only place that wasn't hit that bad from the economy, and then we found out that it was hit the worst. And they say when you're handed lemons, make lemonade, and we found out that really the moving industry, it was very good because people were running away. It was difficult because a lot of people were renting those U-Hauls, like you said, so not too many people had money, and everybody that loses a 5,000 square foot house and they're moving into a one-bedroom apartment, they're not going to want to pay a moving company. So in that way, it was difficult. But when the economy is difficult, especially the housing market, people are going to need that moving company. So Texas, there's a very big competition, a lot of big companies in there. But it's an interesting industry in Texas right now. It's a good question.
You guys hire specific employees to move the furniture into the trucks and do all that?
Yeah. Yeah, we separate it. So we have our local crews that are going to be the people that come into the house, wrap all the furniture, load it into the trucks, sometimes unload it into the warehouse, and then we're going to have the long haul crews, which are people that usually don't have families or they don't like their families, and they'll be on the road for a month or 2 at a time on those big semis. So it's separated to sales, local crews, and the long distance crews.
Do you have ads on your trucks specifically,
We
on the trucks and
We do on 777. On Full House, we do not yet, and on Falcon, we don't yet. We don't have it yet. We've been thinking about either the wraps or just regular logos. On 777, we did regular logos, but a wrap is something that can get very interesting. We looked into it and found all kinds of other ideas and everything. So
I think you want it pretty bright and glowing just because it's
the 777, we have. Let me see if I can find something that sticks out. Yeah, so that's going to be, so this is kind of what the truck looks like. 777 moves on the top, the big logo, sorry. And then the number is going to be on the bottom. So it's something more of a minimalist that sticks out and really pulls out that brand. Full House actually has 3 aces and 2 kings, and then it says Full House Movers.
You
And
could say no luck involved, just skill or something like that.
yeah, and in the Full House,
Yeah,
we the current ones that we use is 777 Movers because it's your lucky day, And then Full House Movers, I think it's always dealing winning hands or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, Falcon, we don't have anything yet. I think we had one more.
Yeah, I was wondering, out of your employees, are they direct employees, or do you farm a lot of your work out?
It's a very good question. A lot of moving companies, even the national ones, will just pick people up from Home Depot and from truck stops every morning. For us, all of our movers are our movers. They're under our workers' comp, under our insurance. We're very, very straightforward with that, and we make sure that each and every one is under 777. They come with the uniforms. We have movers that are with us for 4 or 5 years. We have movers that are with us for 5, 6 months. We usually don't have people come in and out, so not a lot of new guys. And all of them, we do background checks. We check their license, our drivers, everything. So in that, we're very, very organized in that way.
I just
For the
thought
ones.
I heard you say earlier that you guys might work hand in hand with other companies to get a job done, like a nationwide.
Hmm.
The reason I'm asking is because I went on like Yelp, and you definitely do need to like manage your negative reviews.
Right.
They outweigh the positives by far.
Yeah, we're 2.5, I think, right now over
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
The other thing I noticed is I'm on your website now, and your testimonials do not work. The links don't work. So
In
that-
777 or in Full House?
It looks like 777 movers.
Really?
Yeah, they're not working, and that could really impact.
Oh, yeah. That's something I need to look in. Yeah, I'll talk to my IT guy the second I walk out of here. Yelp is the only website out of them all that we've just not been able to manage. I don't know how familiar everybody is with Yelp, but they have a very big filtering. If you look, I have over 150 reviews filtered. So it takes us so long to convince the happy people to go in and put a review, and they'll go in and put the review, and then we'll get shot straight into the filtered. For some, I know the reason, they want us to pay, but we were offered by Yelp several times for like a advertising campaign and this and that, and they're demanding, more accurate, around $600 a month. And that somehow makes your reviews look better. Some companies do that. I tried it. It did get better, but $600 a month was just not worth it for us. So the second we stopped, they started filtering it again. And that's why you'll see a batch of like 3 or 4 good reviews. I know where they're coming from also because they want to make sure that the reviews are genuine and people don't go in like I'll go in from my computer and put in 20 reviews for my house. So they generate the IPs and everything. But I just found it very, very difficult to get good reviews on there. A lot of the other websites we have, like Google, Yahoo, Bing, whatever, we have, I'd say on every one bad one, we have 9 good ones. They're all genuine. They're all from our clients. But Yelp was just very difficult. So that's, if you Yelp, they're 1 star. Seriously, on their own website.
I
Yeah.
just noticed like, even like, I think it was moving.com or
Mhm.
movers.com, something like that. I just recently used them. And like at the end of the deal, the lead mover gave me like $10 back immediately on my credit card for just rating 1 to 5 stars. The guys did really well.
Yeah, we offer that. We have a lot of testimonials. I don't know what happened to the link. That's something I need to check.
Yes,
But you have it? It's coming or no? No?
it's a couple of
Maybe Yelp have to,
No, that's something. I do have a lot of testimonials. We offer, I think we have it on one of our brochures, $25 for each referral, and I think it's $20 for each review or something like that. And we've recently been pushing on that very strong. So we do have a lot of good ones. If you'll go in and you'll Google just, let's say, I don't know, 777 movers or 777 movers reviews, you have Ripoff Report, which are also any company that you're going to search, they're going to be horrible over there because they want something also $600 or $700 a month. So it's Ripoff Reviews in Yelp, Ripoff something in Yelp. Other than that, BBB were A+, I believe. AMSA, we're Pro Movers, American Moving and Storage Association, which means that we're at 99.9% satisfaction. So we have a lot of good ones in there, but that Yelp is just impossible.
Perhaps you don't want customers that that go to Yelp or these other sites that don't give you good reviews.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Maybe you don't want those kind
Oh.
of because then
So-
they'll be generating even some more because
Yeah.
they're trying.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, your website is showing errors both on desktop and on mobile, just so you know.
On, let me see. Which page is that? The reviews?
That's the-
Yeah?
that's
So,
the
yeah.
website.
Yeah, that's something I'll need to look into. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why that happened, but that's new. Yeah.
What generally is your like audience age base, like usually older, or like just all
Anything. That's, our minimum is 2 hours. We go down to usually around 95 an hour for 3 guys and the truck. So the move will turn out 190 for a tiny house. So we'll move 18-year-olds that are moving out of their mom's house, and we'll move people moving into senior complexes, and we'll move big businesses, and basically everything from everywhere. Our main clientele, I'd say, is like the mid-age family. I'd say between 30 to 40 years old, small family, especially in the summer when kids are out of school.
Do you guys offer any type of, say, storage stuff like pods?
Yeah. We're better than them in that case because we offer 1 month free. Whoever's going to move from here out of state to different countries, it's going to take them time to get there to find the house. Sometimes people are all prepared ahead of time, but it's rare. We offer 1 month free. We don't charge additional for the unload and the load in our warehouse. So that's a very big part of the sales pitch. Honestly, it's with most companies, moving companies. But in the case of pod, what they're going to do, they're going to drop the pod, and that's a good comparison because that's something that our sales deal with a lot. Pods are going to drop that pod, let you load it, and then take it to their warehouse, store it, and then bring it to you wherever you are in the same pod and let you unload it. The good thing in pods is that they're very more specific on delivery dates because they just drop it and go. For us, compared to pods, we're a full service. Sometimes we pack a house from scratch. We'll take the underwears out of the underwear drawer and the dishes out of the dishwasher. Yeah, it gets all the way to that. But usually the houses will be packed up and ready, but we're going to come in, we're going to load everything, we're going to wrap up everything. We have the blankets, we have the equipment. With pods, you're going to get just that bare pod and nothing else. They don't cover damages either because obviously they didn't load it, so they don't know if it was even loaded good.
One other question. A lot of times, like restoration companies, say from flood restoration, something like that, they'll have like a 50,000 square foot warehouse. They'll hire a moving company to come in, move all the stuff out while they do all the restoration of the drywall, whatever they got to do. Is that something that you guys do?
We do. We have a few restorations that refer to us a few times, especially houses. More of a house that got water damage and they have to move everything out before it gets mold. So we'll pack up everything, we'll move it out, and whenever they finish the restoration, we'll bring everything back in. Another thing that we do that's kind of the same is with real estates. That's something that we've been pushing on pretty strong with property managements in Vegas lately. Real estate agents that have evictions, especially property managements, we'll go in, we'll pack up that whole house, we'll take it to our storage. They need to hold it for 30 days. After 30 days, if their customer doesn't come and pick it up, we auction it out. And that saves them a lot of headache. Usually the auctions cover that cost. If not, then the homeowner or the real estate agent just cover the difference.
How do you get your message out to the large corporations who, have a company moves or maybe insurance companies who work with clients if they have to, like, move people out and that? Do you deal directly with these large companies like that? Because they're probably not going to be finding people through the internet, are they?
Right. No. We have a certain lead source that sends us only commercial and industrial leads, which are 50 office buildings or big stuff like that. In those cases, we're gonna be much more we'll actually come to the place, we'll meet with them, we'll go through, we'll check out all the offices, we'll build up the quotes and everything. We moved a few big businesses in Vegas, CBS Radio, which are 94.1, 100.5, all those. So it was a big CBS Radio building. We moved that whole thing. We moved Maverick Helicopters, their whole building twice. So we actually have their testimonials in there. So whenever we'll go into this place, if it's a big industrial place or a commercial building, we'll have those testimonials from the good jobs that we did previously and buildings that are kind of like the same. We work currently with CSN. We've been trying to get into their contracts. Not yet. I know that they have a different moving company for contracts. But the state of Nevada, Clark County, that they actually have those big moves as well within the government. We've been working with them on a different scale through a different program that I've been personally going to.
What kind of presentations do you make to them? Is this just face-to-face talking? Do you ever present anything to them?
Both.
What kind of
You-
presentations do you use?
For that, I have the first thing that we always come in, especially with big jobs and government jobs, is a capability statement. It puts it out very clear, the codes that they have for the relocation, and because with the government they work with codes and numbers and everything, so everything is input in there. Our core competencies, all of the information about the company. We do have a literature for that for 777. That's something I actually learned from CSN. I forgot his name, the main purchasing administrator. We came in here for a conference a while ago. So we do have like a page that before I'll come in for a conversation, I'll email it to whoever I'm going into. I'll say, hey, I have a meeting with you tomorrow at this and that. Feel free to go through this before I get there. So a lot of times I'll come and he's already prepared. Other than that, just a regular conversation with with the property managements. I'll go into a room with 100 people and have a PowerPoint presentation and go through it dot by dot and explain everything. If it's more personal for a certain person in charge of a lot, we can do that as well.
Well, we'd like to see what PowerPoints you have or any of the presentation materials that you present, so we can, look over what your messaging is and your approach, and
Right.
maybe some more effective slides could be, maybe a different kind of online presentation could be.
Yeah. Our PowerPoint for 777 movers, it's very, very basic. It explains pretty much what I went through today. It has some pictures of the loadings and the trucks and everything, and some pictures of happy customer reviews and stuff like that. But I use only if I'm really in front of a big class or meeting or whatever. And for the other two, we didn't put anything together as of now.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
What kind of ads do you have? Do you have ads in magazine, local magazine? Do you have radio ads? Do you have...
We tried everything. With radio, we got jobs, but not that much. We actually worked with a real estate agent that had a radio show, and we were hosts, and we were in there and talking with people that call in and everything. That generated a nice amount, but then his show closed. So we don't really advertise in radio. Ads, we tried the yellow pages and all those stuff. It just doesn't generate enough.
Like coupons and stuff like that?
We do coupons. We do mailings. That is a nice amount. We take postcards and we'll put it actually on cars. We'll send some of our workers or whatever and actually put the posters on cards. Those help a lot. Our main ads, I'd say we learned that it's 2015 and the main ads are online, not the actual paper. So we do a lot of campaigning on Google and on Facebook and on YouTube and all those stuff. I have a person that sits and that's all he does basically.
And do you have contact with like real agents? Like you're talking about one that was working on the radio, but like regular agent that just shows house and then they can talk to their client. And
With real estate agents?
Yeah.
We have a few. It's funny, a lot of them actually just had one of their people move with us and they told them that we're good. And then we have agents that we don't even know, we haven't met, we've been trying to contact them several times, they never even get back to us, and they send us already 10 or 20 jobs, big jobs. So we have people that just refer naturally, and then we have through GLVAR, the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors. So we meet up over there with sponsors, and we do meet with realtors, especially the big firms. Like the big real estate companies, they'll have all their agents in once a year or once a quarter. So we'll talk over there once in a while. But I learned with realtors that only after they get that first customer that moved with us, nothing to do with them, they just moved with us and they told them about us, that's the best way where they're like, oh, you know what, these people are good, let's just refer everybody to them. What happens?
Well, good. And with the ton of material that you have, we're looking forward to see what you can send to us.
Yeah, I brought a box over here.
Okay.
We have things from mouse pads. This is all 777 and 777 only. So we have things from mouse pads, and I'll leave enough so you can leave for the next class as well. These we actually go into real estate offices, and we'll tell them, hey, let me drop some of these off. Your mouse pads look old, and we'll just replace all their mouse pads. So that helps us mainly with like real estates and offices like that. We'll have these when we go in for an in-home estimate. These I didn't bring much. I brought only 3 just as an example. But over here you're going to have 4 basically reviews or referrals from Baby's Bounty, which is a donation agency, which we help them out with a toy drive. CBS Radio, AMS Insurance, which is a big insurance company, and Maverick Helicopters. All 4 very nice reviews about our company. We'll put in one of our brochures. We'll put in a ready-to-move brochure, which is a government brochure. And we'll put in a full coverage insurance brochure and our business card. So we'll have all that in here. Over here we have some statements and stuff like that on the back. And I'm going to leave you all these. These are what we usually drop on cars or even in the mail. It's postcard front and back. Business cards, of course. And these are what we built up with the brand company, I'd say a few years ago, which has some pictures, some explanation about the company, and few pictures on the back, and all kinds of stuff like that. So on 777, it feels like we have most of what you guys basically have to offer, let's say. We can always renew it or learn from you what you think of a better idea. But like I said, if it does help, we'll be able to offer the other 2 companies, which we have one that's medium, and we have Falcon that basically very, very beginning.